Hello, a lot of people are asking me about GitLab and GitHub and pushing and pulling. So I wanted to make this short video to make sure everything is clear. We're going to use GitLab only to download the class materials. That's the only thing we're going to do with GitLab, only pulling. And GitHub, which is much more important for us, is going to be to upload your homeworks and your projects. This is going to be your portfolio. So we have to get good at GitHub. Later we're going to learn how to create branches and collaborate on projects. But GitLab is only going to be to pull the class materials. How are we going to do that? If you are on a Windows, you're going to do it through Git Bash. I'm sure you're familiar with Git Bash by now. If you're on a Mac, through your terminal. Now we're in a GitLab page for our class. How do I clone this, make a copy of the whole thing inside my computer? I go here to clone. I clone with HTTPS, so I copy the URL, and then I go to my terminal. In this case, I want to copy it into my desktop, so I'm going to go cd desktop. It depends on where you are when you open your terminal. You can navigate to whatever folder you want. And then I'm going to do git clone, the link, and you saw a folder appear right away. So it's downloading all the materials inside that folder. First time you do it, it might ask you for your credentials, for your username and your password. So make sure you have those. Your credentials for GitLab are most likely going to be different to your credentials for GitHub. It depends on how you created it. But since here we are downloading from GitLab, you put your credentials for GitLab. It's downloading all the material. This we should only do once for the class materials, because every time we need to get the new stuff, we're just gonna update this folder. For example, if everything is there now, so if I go to this particular folder, I can do cd jhu tab for autocomplete. Now I am inside the folder. You see it says master. If I do git pull, it tells me already up to date. All this is a warning because I'm not specifying some stuff, but I don't need to, because it's working fine. It's not an error, it's a warning, and it tells me I'm already up to date. If there's nothing new, it's going to tell you you're already up to date. So it really should take you no time to download everything from GitLab. I already have the folder, so I'm going to right click, new terminal, tab at folder, and I can just do git pull, and that's it. It says I'm already up to date. If it wasn't, then it will download everything in seconds. All the solutions after class, all the new homeworks, all the new material for every week, everything you can download in just a couple clicks, in just one command, git pull. It should take you no time at all. What about your homeworks? I recommend you create a different folder, not inside the repo from GitLab. I'm going to create a folder called homeworks. And here's where I'm going to have my homeworks. So I will need to go to GitHub and create a repo. So I'm going to go to repo, new, homework, for example. Maybe your homework for pandas. I want to make it public because I want the grader to have access to it. Always add a readme and git ignore. For git ignore, we can choose Python. And then we can create a repo. The repo is created. Now I can clone it. So same thing, I'm going to copy this from HTTPS, and it's copied. Now I go to my terminal. I'm going to go into my desktop. I'm going to go inside my homework file, my homework folder, and now I'm going to clone it. Git clone my homework. It's cloned now. So if I go into my homework folder, it should be there, it's in there. So I'm going to go in there, and I can see main because this is a GitHub repo. How do I upload my files? I need to create files and put them inside of here. Okay, so I have my folder for homeworks. If I go inside there and I have the folder which is my GitHub repo, I put stuff in here. So I'm gonna copy this file and drag it in here, or copy paste it or drag it, or however you want, in the Finder in Mac or in Windows Explorer for Windows. Or you can do it through a terminal also, but this is much easier. Now we're here. How do we add the files? We can see with ls that the file is in there now. If we do git add dot, that means add everything. Then we do git commit. We need a message with commit -m and a message adding Python file. It has been added. Now I can push it. If I push it, then I'm done. If I go to my GitHub, refresh, the file is in there now. I can see it, and I'm done. That's how you should be doing all your homeworks. If I do my next homework, I will create a new repo. I will clone the repo in this folder. A new folder will appear. I'll go inside that folder, put all my files in there, and then git add, git commit -m message, git push. I have also seen this a lot, where they ask you for your email and your username. So you can see here what that user typed. They need to type exactly the same, git config -- global user.email, and in the quotation marks you put your email, and then the next one, git config -- global username, and in quotation marks you put your username. That's gonna tell Git that this is who you are, and then you can do your add commit push. Finally, remember we always tell you to make sure you have 20 plus commits. So if you're working on your homework on Monday a couple hours, you should be pushing that to GitHub. Then on Tuesday a couple hours, you should push to GitHub. Then on Wednesday, then on Thursday. So if you're working every day, you should be pushing every day. Sometimes your code was working fine, it doesn't work anymore, you don't know what happened. You can go back to the code from before and not messing up anything. It's also gonna create a heat map like this. This is very common. The employers are gonna see this and know how often are you collaborating on your GitHub, how often you're working on your projects and your homeworks. It's so famous that there's a meme about it. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. So make sure you're always committing and writing a good README. A good README is usually not a one line. For your homeworks might not be that important, but for your projects, we're gonna make sure you have a good README. In a README, you explain what you're doing, how you did it, your obstacles, what you overcame, what you learned. So make sure you always have your commits and try to write a good README. And that's it.